Should it not have been abundantly obvious that people would start doing things like rifling through bins the minute there was a financial incentive to do so? Was that not something that was considered before this phenomenon was actually observed in the real world, when this was just an idea?
Well, if you remember when the deposit return scheme started, a lot of people said that this isn't going to work, that people won't go to the supermarkets, they won't go to the shopping centres to put in their plastic. There was actually a huge amount of negativity around the plan when it started. But what it's shown is that it's actually really, really successful. So I suppose what Dublin City Council are trying to do, we weren't the initiators of this national deposit return scheme, but we're trying to respond to that success at a public level, and that's really what this initiative is about.
But specifically on what I'm asking about, as I say, were these sorts of pitfalls not considered? Again, granting that Dublin City Council obviously wasn't the one who initiated the plan, but in terms of rolling it out and supporting it, was this sort of thing not discussed? That, are we going to see these sorts of knock-on consequences, like people rifling through bins and ripping open bin bags on the street?
Well, it seemed to me when this national policy was introduced in the first instance, there was this public concern that, in fact, just the individual household wouldn't go to the bother of, collecting their plastic and going to the supermarkets. There were challenges in relation to the machines. So really immediately when this issue of ripping open bags emerged, Dublin City Council have responded quite quickly, because it was really in the summertime we saw a lot of this happening, and that's where we met with the bin operators to change how the plastic bin bag presentation was happening, and it was all tied up in the general waste strategy of introducing other measures that would respond to the deposit return issue as well, and that's really what this pilot is about.
Very last question, I might just ask, if this new system is in use, so people won't be able to get their deposit back if they leave it there, they're leaving it for somebody else to collect? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it's really people who are, let's just say, for convenience, they're just had a bottle of water, they don't have time to go off to Spar or wherever and to put in get the deposit return, but they want to dispose of it. Instead of throwing it in the main bin, they'll throw it on the side, and then other people who are going around the city collecting it, because it does have an economic value, will be able to do so without ripping up other rubbish onto the street.
But they'll be forfeiting the return, the deposit themselves.
The individual will be forfeiting the return, but somebody else will get the benefit of it.